the Canadian bar was filled with the smell of beer and sweat. It was a place where the people came to forget about their troubles, where the grime of daily life was washed away by the warmth of good company and the steady flow of alcohol. It was in this place that two men met, their paths crossing in a moment of heated anger. The first man was a brute, a lumberjack by trade, with a thick beard and arms the size of tree trunks. The second man was a used car salesman, a clean-shaven individual dressed in a suit, with slicked back hair and an air of arrogance. The two men had been exchanging barbs for hours, their insults escalating with each passing moment. The lumberjack was convinced that the used car salesman was a fraud, a slick talker with no real substance. The used car salesman, for his part, looked down on the lumberjack, seeing him as nothing more than a simpleton. As the night wore on, the tension between the two men reached a boiling point. The lumberjack, fueled by alcohol and rage, lunged at the used car salesman, his massive fists raised. The fight was brutal and chaotic, the two men grappling with each other like wild animals. The lumberjack swung his fists with all his might, but the used car salesman was quick and nimble, darting around him and striking with precision. The other patrons of the bar watched in awe, cheering on their favorite fighter. The lumberjack was a favorite among the locals, a symbol of the hard-working Canadian spirit, while the used car salesman was a symbol of the corporate greed that had been creeping into their society. The fight continued, the two men locked in a deadly dance. The lumberjack's brute strength was no match for the used car salesman's cunning, and soon he found himself on the defensive, his arms tiring and his breathing labored. The used car salesman, sensing his opportunity, moved in for the kill. He delivered a powerful blow to the lumberjack's stomach, sending him crashing to the ground. The room fell silent as the lumberjack lay there, moaning in pain. The used car salesman stood over him, a smug grin on his face. "You see," he said, "there's more to life than just brute force. Sometimes, intelligence and strategy are the key to success." The lumberjack groaned, struggling to stand up. He looked up at the used car salesman, his eyes filled with rage and humiliation. "You may have won this fight," he growled, "but I know what's truly important in life. Hard work, family, and community. Those are the things that matter." The used car salesman laughed, dismissing the lumberjack's words with a wave of his hand. He turned and walked out of the bar, his head held high. The lumberjack stood there for a moment, watching him go, before turning and trudging back towards his home in the woods. As he walked, he thought about the things that truly mattered to him, the simple pleasures of life that no amount of money or power could ever replace. He reached his cabin, tired and battered, but with a sense of peace in his heart. He opened the door and stepped inside, greeted by the warmth of the fire and the smell of freshly baked bread. His wife, a kind and gentle woman with a face lined by years of hard work, looked up at him and smiled. "You're home," she said.